Good morning, ma'am. Welcome back for today's session. So, in the last class, we learned about the architecture of the grid, okay, which contains five layers, namely fabric layer, connectivity layer, resource layer, collective layer, and finally application layer. So, without this layer, we can't perform the total grid works in terms of a single job or single program or single interface. So any work can be divided in terms of multiple layers so that the interfacing will be very easy. Okay. So today is the last class of first unit. It's a very small topic today. Okay. Before moving the last topic of this unit, we have a one more topic to discuss. Okay. Regarding overview of grid computing layers. How many layers we have totally? I found one more architecture from the internet which is suitable to our concept. So according to this, if you observe carefully, so this is in detail architecture I can say. We know about the grid fabric layer which is going to be control the local resources. Above that in the network layer or the transport layer or connectivity we can say, we have a security infrastructure which is going to secure our data in terms of different mechanisms, encryptions, decryptions, or any hash functions. Above that, before moving the higher level layers, we have a core grid middleware, which helps to collect all resources availability, which helps to provide indefinite service to every resource of the grid for any user. So in terms of virtualization concept mainly. Okay. So later at the user level middleware in the resource aggregates. So now coming to the top layers, that is application layer, whenever the user enters the scene. Okay. So we have a middleware which converts or which provides the user friendly environment to the user. Okay, user friendly environment to the user in terms of packages, tools, anything is going to be available here, where all resources of any type are going to be aggregate here, right? And finally grid programming environment and tools, grid programming environment and tools. So this is a languages where we can start developing your application. Right, and finally the top layer applications where the user directly can use application to fulfill his requirement. User means in terms of a company, in terms of a buyer, in terms of a provider, in terms of a service provider. So lot many users will be there called as a stakeholders in software engineering language. Hope you know that. Okay, so this is the final overview of grid computing layers. Standards for grid environments, yeah. So for anything we have to maintain standards. If you remember the ISI standards, what is the use of these ISI standards, ma? See, it is a brand. Any company want to initiate some product or any new product he want to launch into the market, they should get permission from the ISI. Why means, according to the ISI, they have to maintain standards so that the society will not suffer because of the product. Okay, so like this also, hope you remember about this ISO also. ISO OSLS, International Standard Organization for Communication mainly it is going to be, which supports OSLS, Open System Interconnection. Okay, so like this we have lot of standards. Like this also for grid environment also we have some standards which sets their own path to provide connectivity for all the systems anywhere in the world, which can be useful to the user to deploy their data, right? See this OGSA. OGSA, first of all OGSA, OGSI, OGSA DAI, Grid FTP, WSRF, and finally web related services. We will know about this shortly. Okay, just remember the words. What are the standards for the grid environments? OGSA, OGSI, OGSA DAI, FTP, WSRF, and web related services. 6 we have. The OGSA is nothing but the unit, the second unit total, the grid services. Okay, Open Grid Service Architecture. See, if you know about the Linux operating system, it is open software. So anybody can use this, anybody can modify this, anybody can implement that little bit modifications and deploy it. There should not be any ambiguity, but we have to get the license from the company, Linux company or Red Hat, I can say. Okay, so like this also we have a lot of standards which helps to define some functionalities to make the work of the grid in an easy way without any disturbance in the mid path. Okay, so what is the role of this one by one? We will see this. OGSA, okay, Open Grid Service Architecture. Before this, who defined this all? GGF. GGF means Global Grid Forum. Global Grid Forum. So there is a standard called as a GGF forum is there, which defines all the standards to allocate some functionality to each. Okay, so I missed to give animation to this. Sorry. Yeah, Global Grid Forum has published Open Grid Service Architecture. Who published this? Global Grid Forum. What is the main work of this OGSA requirements? Okay, is an open and standard way in order to address the requirements of a grid. Okay, just remember Open Grid Service Architecture to provide the service to the grid in terms of an architecture. It is going to useful, which is who is given by this Global Grid Forum is given. Okay, so requires a framework for distributed system that support for what the main work of OGSA, for integration, for virtualization, and for the management of the resources. And what it contains? It contains set of interfaces, behaviors, resource models, and bindings. So lot of interfaces to solve compatibility problems, lot of behavior to fulfill the requirements, and resource models where different type of resources can be gathered or aggregate, and finally the bindings. Anywhere any person can able to communicate your system. Okay, this can be happen with this. So OGSA defines requirements for these core capabilities. The OGSA defines these core capabilities. What are those? Integration, virtualization, management, and for the interfaces, behaviors, resource models, and bindings. That is the work of the OGSA. OGSA, infrastructure, Open Grid Service Infrastructure. The architecture will divide the functionality in terms of different categories, but infrastructure internally, how the systems have to connect, what is the hardware they have to use, what is the software they have to share, how they can share the memory. So all these are available with this infrastructure concept. See, implementation of a grid architecture is going to taken care of OGSA. Okay, so Global Grid Forum again extended the concepts defined in OGSA. So whatever the architecture is defined, what is how your architecture will get by implementation only. How the implementation will start whenever there is an infrastructure in your hands. Okay, so it is extended our architecture in terms of infrastructure. See, we have a building building plan to construct our house, but there is an architecture means plan. But how will you start your planning? Building, that is implementation. How? By collecting the bricks, cement, whatever plans you want to start, some accessories you want for house. Nothing but the infrastructure components only, right? OGSA DI, data access and integration. How data have to be placed at one place, how to give interface from one form of data to another form. Okay, so how to provide service in terms of providing data to the customers. So all these are available in the data access and integration methodology. It is initially started by UK Database Task Force along with the collaboration of Global Grid Forum. Okay, next, Grid FTP, file transfer protocol to share your data locally without any intervention. Okay, so it is a secure and reliable data transfer protocol providing high performance and optimized for wide area networks that have a high bandwidth. Okay, so it is like as Internet FTP protocol, the same, and it is Grid FTP protocol specification is a proposed recommendation document in the Global Grid Forum. So GGF give all the standards, especially for some peculiar functionality for each standard. Okay, they define some functionalities and those functionalities are given name as OGSA, 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 DAA like this, and GRIFT FTP. Web services resource framework. If you want connectivity in terms of internet, so by using internet, how different computers can be connected? Means different IP addresses will be there, different configurations will be there. Okay, different bandwidth capability will be there. Different LAN, WAN, MAN connections will be there. But how they can be cope up with all this in terms of web services? So this is done by WSRF, relationship between web services and stateful resources. Means it's a connectivity between the web services and stateful resources. Okay. And last one, web services related standards. I hope you remember all this. So we learned about this in the last class about the protocols used in web services. Okay, what are those? So we have been used XML, UDDI. So all this comes under the standards for these web services. See, XML, WSDL, description language, SOAP, UDDI. So all these are nothing but the standards supporting for web services. Okay, right. So now, so this is the end of the 7th topic of the unit 1 ma. Now it is a time to turn to our last topic called as elements of the grid. Very small topic ma. I think it is a very small topic in the first one. Elements of the grid. See, what are the elements we have? For example, what are the elements of a college? We have a staff rooms, we have a classrooms, we have a account section, we have a principal room, we have a library, we have a sports room, we have a conference hall, we have a lawn, okay, we have some washrooms. All these are the elements of a college. Can you feel comfort without any of this? No. So like this only, if you want to frame any grid, what are the elements you need so that you can fulfill your requirement? That's a big question. See, grid computing often combines different components of a distributed high performance computing depend on the scale of operation. Then what are those? We have totally 6 elements ma. First, resources, all memory, hardware, connectivity, processor, nothing but. So grid portal, how you can communicate. There should be connectivity. For example, we have a browsers like Google, Gmail, so that we can able to communicate with some people. Without this, can we able to communicate? No. For example, you have a IP address, you have internet connectivity. What is the use of this? Without any browsers or any websites, right? This can be called as a portals. Broker, yeah. Who will give the service to you? For example, Google is going to provide service to you in terms of a Gmail, Google search. He can be called as a broker. So without the broker, there is no, for example, he is a broker. He developed some software called as a Google, but he don't want to share with anybody. He is not called as a broker then. A broker is an intermediate resource person between the two components. User 1 or user 2, company 1 or company 2. Okay, he can be helpful to any 2 people or many people so that they can fulfill the requirement. Okay, that person is called as a broker. Scheduler, very very important ma. See, I have a work to complete or finish my job, but the CPU is sitting idle. Nobody is there allot my works to that CPU. Even I have lot of resources. CPU is available, my processor is available, but no one is there to allot that work. Yeah, we have a CPU sitting idle and we have a work to finish, but nobody is allocating that. Can you automatically assign your work to the CPU which is free somewhere else in the world? Can you do that? No, not possible, na? So like this also, scheduler is a person who will take care of all the allotments of your work. Okay, like a processor, like a memory, like a bandwidth capability, he will take care of. Next, security infrastructure. Yeah, it's a name itself self-explanatory. He will take care of all the authentication, authorization, error control. All these works will take care of by security infrastructure. And the last one is the data management framework. Data accessing, data storing, data removing, deleting, moving. Everything can be done with the help of this data management. Now tell me, without any one of these elements, can you work? No. We need resources, we need connectivity, we need middle person, we need scheduler or assigner. or we need security, and finally we need the data management. See, we will discuss one by one. So these are the main components. The main work is a broker. So without broker, there is no service. There is no Google, there is no Microsoft, there is no IBM. Can you imagine our computers to develop like this? Of course, not at all. So they are the person, their research contributes for the flexibility. For example, at this pandemic situation because of COVID-19, can you imagine, can you take the classes? Can you able to fulfill your BTech degree? Without these softwares or the computers, our 1 year is going to be wasted. Okay. So as a job holder, I may lose my job. As a student, you may lose your career. Okay. So that's why we have to give the priority for the broker. The broker will take care of all the works of this. You see this. The monitoring and discovery services. Because of this monitoring, he used to discover something, he used to monitor the services. In terms of connectivity, in terms of data services. Okay. In terms of security. Right. We will see one by one. Resources. What are the resources comes under into the C now? Processors, data storage, scientific equipment, all comes under resources. Finally, grid portal, the interaction between the user and the grid. If you are able to communicate with the grid, that is because of the portals only in terms of FTP, UTP, telnet, like this. Okay. Broker, the broker provides information about the available resources on the grid. Yes. So I am going to own my company. I can share with you. That is available with the help of the UDD. Hope you remember this UDD. It is a registry where any broker or service provider have to register here. From there, he can access the data. Who? The customer or any requester or the user. Right, ma? Scheduler. Yeah, who is responsible for this? What is the responsibility of this scheduler is executing, monitoring and rescheduling. If you have a work to assign, he will assign the jobs, and finally, yes, submitting a job for execution, monitoring the progress of active jobs, rescheduling of suspended jobs and managing the overall job management. So total job work is going to be controlling by the scheduler. Last but one, security infrastructure. For what? It is for authentication, authorization, data confidentiality, integrity. This is a small list I can say. Hope you studying about the security concepts now. You can get a lot of list. Okay, right? And finally, the data management framework. Okay, so it will take care of all the data management in terms of what is the job status, what is it, where is the data availability, what are the results we got in terms of data, where our data is going to store, which job or program to execute for our data. So these are all the things which will take care of by our this data management framework. Okay, ma. So hope you remember all these elements of a grid. How many we have? Totally 6 elements. What are those? Resources. Sorry, I forgot. Resources, grid portal, broker, scheduler, security infrastructure, and finally data management framework. Right? So right, ma. This is the end of the unit 1. From tomorrow we'll start the unit 2. So till then, have a nice day. Before winding this session, please try to revise all the videos which I posted to your class. Please try to revise once. ఏముందిలే చదివేద్దాము లాస్ట్లో అనుకుంటారేమో, చదవలేరు. క్లాస్లో కూర్చొని మనుషులను చూస్తూ వినడం వేరే, రూమ్లో కూర్చొని ఫోన్లు పట్టుకొని కూర్చోవడం వేరే, చాలా తేడా ఉంటుంది. ఓకేనా? ఏదైనా సరే మన మైండ్ సెట్ బట్టి ఉంటుంది. మీ మైండ్ సెట్ వినాలి అనుకుంటే వింటారు. బట్ యాజ్ ఏ సైకాలజీ ఆఫ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ మీరు వింటారా? అవుట్ ఆఫ్ కవరేజ్ ఏది ఆ కాన్సెప్ట్. అందుకని దయచేసి వీకెండ్ లోపల 1 యూనిట్ని రివర్స్ చేయండి. ఓకే, చేయలేదా? ఓకే, చేసినా ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ విష్. ఓకేనా? ఓకే అమ్మా, బాయ్, హ్యావ్ ఎ నైస్ డే, బాయ్.